Hey there, YouTube. I'm Jack, and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Well, we are back to some nice weather here in South Alabama. Storms went through on Wednesday night. Didn't get any tornadoes like we thought we might. And now we've got cool weather. Just hoping it lasts through Christmas. But thought I'd just finish the week off with a quickie on must-have raw vegan kitchen appliances. Now, this is very important if you want to succeed on this lifestyle. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, please go down and hit that subscribe button now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you will stay subscribed to the channel. I get asked about equipment, gadgets, what did you make that in, which one, what should I buy, what's the better, all the time. And to be quite honest, starting right off here, the title here was a little clickbaity because it's probably not going to be exactly what you think, because there's no must-have raw vegan kitchen appliances. This whole discussion, number one, people come at me with almost like a desperation, like if I just get the right machine, I will be able to do this lifestyle. The machine doesn't matter. The machine doesn't matter, but there's also a lot of hard asses out there that they just want to spend the bare minimum. To me, I'm kind of like in between. It's all about what kind of money do you have. It's like going out and saying, "Oh, that guy's an idiot over there for driving a Mercedes." Well, if the dude's got like 85 million in the bank, that's different than if you've got somebody that's driving. You get what I'm saying? It's all got to do with your money. So, act accordingly. But I will say, it's not stupid investing in kitchen equipment. I mean, if you go into the average foodie's house, or if you even just go into regular people's house a lot of times, and you go in their kitchen and you start going through there, like people might have $300 or $400. Sometimes people get even more expensive Vitamixes. But you go into a house where somebody will have a damn bread maker for $400, and then they'll have a pasta maker for $200, and then they'll have a big old this or that. So, like I say, your mileage varies. But if you don't have a budget for a lot of equipment, that is okay, and that will not stop you from doing this lifestyle. Full disclosure, I have had a lot of different pieces of equipment to do this lifestyle. Ironically, one of the first more expensive pieces of equipment I bought was the Omega juicer. Great juicer, love it. Did it for a while. I juiced a good bit my first year on this lifestyle when I was living in Costa Rica. Then I realized that I was going to pull my hair out. I never was going to do this, like putting hours into juicing every day. Just not my cup of tea, really. But I do. I've got a really nice Omega juicer. I currently have a Vitamix. Don't get me wrong, I love my Vitamix. It's the biggest thing about the Vitamix I can say is it gives me textures to my smoothies, to a lot of different things that I make, that I just can't get that texture quite the same with a regular blender. They're great for making ice cream, and it's got that high-speed motor. But if you cannot afford that Vitamix, you can get around that. I'm going to tell you the cheapest workaround, if you can't afford a high-speed blender, is to get you a simple, just bottom-of-the-line standard blender. Like my roommate has an old Oster over there, an Oster, a Hamilton Beach, whatever. Go to Walmart, go to Target, whatever the bottom-of-the-line blender is, get that one, and then get that Black & Decker food processor that I'm always telling you about. I don't know a model number. I don't know what it's called. It's just go to Black & Decker food processor. Google cheapest Black & Decker food processor. This one cost about $30. Now, I've had the current one I'm on for probably like a year and a half now. Now, I've had 2 or 3 of them because I wear these things out heavy every day. But did you just hear a minute ago what I said the price was? $30. So if tomorrow, I've had mine for a year and a half. If it dies tomorrow, I don't care. I throw that thing away and I go get another one because it's a cheap piece of equipment. But in that $30 food processor, I can do all kind of crazy stuff. I can make nice cream. In fact, I don't ever make nice cream in my Vitamix anymore. I always make nice cream in my food processor. I make those treats, which are very dense. Once you put nuts and dates in there, it takes some power to do that. So, like I say, if you've got a real low budget, just get started. Whatever blender you already have, get that, or either if you're buying something, if you're starting completely with nothing, buy yourself a little cheap blender. And if that's even still a little too expensive, go check out your local thrift store. I know every time I go in a thrift store, I see at least a couple of blenders in there, so that's one route to go. I would say get yourself a good knife, but then again, you don't need a super expensive knife. I have this. I like this brand. I have these Farberware knives. Now this one is probably, I bought this before I moved down here, so this one's probably at least 2 years old, has a good edge. And this knife right here is $12. It's a ceramic blade, and it is very, very good. I peel mangoes with this, and I can get real thin where I can get it where I don't waste too much of the fruit. So I can do all kind of things with this. So, basically you need a knife, a cutting board, maybe a cheap blender, and a little food processor there. Now, like I say, once again, it just depends on your budget, and don't necessarily, if you've got the money, don't be stubborn. There's some people that just are like, just out of principle, they're like, well, I'm not going to spend this or that. I don't need it. But like I say, it's all up to you, but I will say this, just know this, that no matter what machine you get, no matter what gadget you get, you still got to figure out how you want to eat, what you're going to put in your body. Another one that I might say, though, for some people that are really kind of balancing things to get, and I don't have one, and I've had a couple, and I've let them go along the way, is a dehydrator. I would even, I see a lot of this good stuff, and now I got rid of my dehydrator before I moved down here. I just needed to lighten my load and get rid of a bunch of stuff. But I've been watching, especially this last year or two, a lot of the stuff that Nate and Melissa have been doing with their food, doing some dehydrating stuff. And also, too, for all the people out there that say, well, I don't want to just take all the water out of it. A lot of time it's just like, you're not like doing like 12, 15 hour, 24 hour dehydrations where you're just completely making like chips or whatever. A lot of times you're just warming some things up, doing some vegetables, this and that. But I would even say, if it comes down to it, if you had to decide between like a Vitamix and a dehydrator, you might go ahead and get the cheap blender, the food processor, and the dehydrator over the Vitamix. But once again, I want to make it absolutely clear. I love my Vitamix. I'd be heartbroken if it broke down tomorrow. I think I've had this one. I've had it 6 years, about 6 years right now, maybe 7 years. I can't remember the exact Christmas that I got it. But but once again, do not stress over that. Oh, and another one too. Like, they're out there and they are nice, and I'm not discouraging you from getting it, but people are always, well, what equipment do you use for your sprouts? Can you show us your sprouts? It's just real simple. I use a sprouting jar. That's my method for sprouting. I think I've got a little video on here, but it's basically just super simple. That's the equipment. So you can keep it simple, or you can get stuff that makes it a little bit easier, less work involved. It's all up to you. But once again, it's all about the lifestyle. It's not about a gadget. It's not about a special food. It's not about learning a particular recipe. It's not about all these little details. How many did you put in this? How much of that? Blah, blah, blah. It just comes from within you, making a decision that you're going to put the best that you can into your body. And I'm not even trying to tell you what the best is for you. This is never a preaching channel where you should eat my way. This is the way to eat. I'm just trying to get you to think for yourself, understand why you make the decisions you make for you, own them. And like I say, but it's not expensive. You do not have to have all the expensive gadgets to make this lifestyle work. Another little cheap gadget. I love this one. This is the Vegetti. This is like, I think I bought this $10 or so at Bed Bath & Beyond. This is what you do your spiralized zoodles and cucumber coodles, whatever, with. So there's lots of little tricks out there. You do not have to get all this fancy stuff that you see, all the little she bougie Instagram influencers have. I mean, God, if you start looking at some of the influencers sometime, you're like, God damn, dude. I'm like, you know, they got the swimming pool. Looks like they living in a Hollywood mansion. Got like about a kitchen with about $20,000 worth of equipment in there, and none of us can relate to that stuff. So anyhow, do the best you can. Have a beautiful weekend. I'll probably hit you with a video this weekend. If not, I'll see you here Monday. Peace.